Hey, what's going on, everyone? So the Michigan Wolverines, let me slide that over. The Michigan Wolverines just defeated the Central Michigan Chippewas 63-3. Not much surprise there. I'm going to give some brief post game thoughts, and I will, I think my usual co-host, he might come through, but if not, I'll just wrap up. There wasn't a lot to say. There's not a lot to talk about in this game. This was a bit of uh, 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 a holdover or a resting point, a lick your wounds and heal type of game. And the next big test is next week. But let's talk about Michigan and Central Michigan. I'll see you on the other side of the intro, and I'll jump right in. Let's go blue. Whoops, wrong one. Um, oh no. Oh no. I didn't. Okay, well, what should I do here? Okay, let me get rid of this. All right, let me get rid of that one. I thought I had this prepared, and I don't. So I'm going to have to use the one that I do have prepared, Central Michigan. All right, let's do it this way. All right, I'll see you guys on the other side of this intro. Let's go blue. Just waiting on StreamYard. All right. Well, while we wait on that, do you people watching me, do you have any thoughts on today's game? Are you okay? Here we go. I'll see you on the other side. 36 seconds. Let's go blue. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. This is going to be a quickie. I was wondering if I should say that based upon what that usually means, but we're talking college football here. So the Michigan Wolverines just defeated the Central Michigan Chippewas 63-3. So they won by 60 points in convincing fashion. Not a surprise. This game was on the Big Ten Network. I don't have the entire cable package, so I was scrambling ahead of the game to see how I was going to watch it. Fortunately, ASCA Gaming Bus streamed it on YouTube because I couldn't get the football to work, and I signed up for the 1-day pass for Sling. That doesn't apply to college football games. You have to buy a separate sports package to get those through Sling, and that's for $75. Anyway, thank you again to Ask Gaming Bus for streaming that on YouTube. All right, so Michigan just in the aftermath of the Oklahoma loss, Michigan defeated the Central Michigan Chippewas 63-3. There was a lot of disappointment in the aftermath of the Oklahoma game, and a lot wasn't. There weren't a lot of expectations for this one aside from allowing Bryce Underwood to get out and throw the ball and run the ball and be more active in the offense and to show all of his tools and to use all of his tools, and also to rest the players that were injured in the either before the Oklahoma game. I'm thinking about Marlon Klein, or during the game, I'm thinking about Giovanni El Hadi and Zeke Berry. Marlon Klein did play today, and in addition to Hogan Hansen, Marlon Klein looked when he ran out of the tunnel He did look pretty good. So hopefully he is back and he will be ready to contribute next week against the Nebraska Cornhuskers out in Lincoln. So the big question for today, let me acknowledge Ashwin. I never know how to pronounce your last name. Ashwin Pragata. He says, Bryce Underwood looked sharp. I'm really happy and excited with him with this win. Go Blue. And our former Wolverine, now resident Buckeye / super fan, Abdul Gaines says, the big challenge is next week. Go Big Red. For you, Abdul Gaines, I'm going to play this.
And so in the off season, we've tried to really make sure that the guys are reminded of that game, that the coaches are reminded of that game, everybody in the building's reminded of that game, but also know that we have to move forward. We can't let that game beat us twice, but it's something that we never want to have to go through again.
Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to jump right in. So Michigan looked good. Bryce almost threw a pick. He threw a near pick on his first throw, and he did throw one later in the game. But the offense, everybody, this was a lesser opponent. This was a lesser opponent. This was a lesser opponent. So for those of you critics out there who say, well, you guys blew out Central Michigan, we know, okay? But I think this was a good opportunity and a good game to experiment with things and to let Bryce throw the ball and to let Bryce run the ball, and he did just that. So he had a monster game. I'm going to go over the stats before I wrap up. But he was able to get on the board himself. Justice Haynes was able to get on the board. Samash Morgan was able to get on the board. Let's see who else scored here. So Bryce Underwood scored 2 TDs on the ground. Justice Haynes scored 1. Jordan Marshall scored 2. Jasper Parker scored 1, and Bryson Kudzall scored 1, and Samash Morgan caught 1. So that's where those touchdowns came from. That the offense was very, very pass centric early on, and they were Bryce was sitting in the pocket. They were rolling him out, and on some instances he tucked the ball himself and he ran it. I really liked that play when he scored the ball, and he ran down the sideline and he juked the that Central Michigan defensive back and got into the end zone. So I think we obviously wanted to see more of this last week. We wanted to see him take some shots down the field last week. Now, the argument could be made that there wasn't time because the Oklahoma defense, they were getting in the backfield. But the overall game plan, we would have preferred to have seen something like this last week. Okay. So I think the big question coming out of this for me is out in Lincoln, will Biff Poggi, and Chip Lindsey, are they going to be willing to turn Bryce loose and let him throw the ball around next week? Are they going to let him run next week? I think that gives our team the best chance to win. And I think that, yeah, they with what he was able to do today, I think that gives our team the best chance to win. Then again, there's got to be some mix. It can't be a totally Bryce-centric offense. You're going to have to mix in some Jordan Marshall, and actually, the more Jordan Marshall, the better, because you want to rest your defense, and you want some semblance of balance. And as Joel Klatt says, complementary football, which is what made Michigan so successful, spanning from teams 142 to team 144. We got to get back to the complementary football. And not shoot ourselves in the foot next week. I'm thinking about Andrew Marsh. Andrew Marsh had a couple of penalties today. And also Dominic Zavada. I think he's missed. This is the second straight week he's missed too. Last year, the kid was damn near perfect. But I think he missed another one today. I'm going to go over the stats. But that's what I saw today. The question was, in the aftermath of that Oklahoma game, what would we see this week? Would they at least experiment with letting Bryce throw the ball down the field and run the ball? And they did that today. It looked very good. And I think that's going to give us our best chance to win next week and going forward. Who was it that made the point? Steve Dace. Steve Dace from the Michigan podcast. God bless Steve. Always clutching his pearls and panicking. He made the point that at the pro level, there's nobody really of substance behind Josh Allen for my Buffalo Bills and Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens, and those coaches and those teams they let those guys run amok. Why not do the same thing with Bryce? I mean, we don't want to get him hurt, but let the kid run. Put that pressure on the opposing defense. Okay. And also let him use Donovan McCulley more. The kid is 6'5". He's wearing the number 1. There are expectations with coming with that number 1 jersey. And yeah, that gives our team the best chance to win, its best chance to win down the stretch of Big Ten season. So Big Ten play starts next week. Yeah, it was a tough loss last week, but the goals are still ahead of the team. And I think that, what they did today, they need to reproduce some semblance of that going forward and or make Nebraska beat that. Beat Michigan's strengths. So I hope Chip Lindsey doesn't shrivel it back into his conservative shell next week. All right. Nebraska. I'll probably take a look at this. I'll probably take a look at this before I end the stream. But Nebraska won in huge fashion against their opponent today. So they played a lesser opponent as well. But we're going to revisit this probably in more detail on Monday night. So you guys, whoever's here, let me know what you think there in the chat. I'm not going to be on much longer. Please smash that like button. Shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Please consider subscribing to the channel. So I'm going to go briefly over the statistics, and then we'll take a look at what Nebraska did, and then I will wrap the stream up. Before the stream started, I was actually watching Penn State and Villanova. I think Texas Tech is supposed to be on, but there's inclement weather down there. Let's see. So Jayshon Barham, he had a monster game. I see you there, Marmar. I'll drop the link in a second. Jayshon Barham, he had a monster game. He was keying in on the quarterback. And let me bring my background back there. And you wonder, that's back. You wonder if Jayshon had the chance to play the entire game last week, how much of a difference he would have made. But Jayshon didn't play offense as well. So maybe we would have gotten a little more pressure on Mateer, but he doesn't play offense well. All right, let me just sprint through this. Yeah, Bryce had a monster game, albeit against a lesser opponent. He went 16 for 25 for 235 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. He ran the ball 9 times for 114 yards. So, there's no way they can go back now to chaining him up. They got to let him do this every week in a smart way. Justice Haynes had a monster game on the ground. He carried the ball 14 times for 104 yards. Bryce scored 2 TDs on the ground. Justice Haynes scored 1. Jordan Marshall got loose a little bit. He carried the ball 10 times for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jasper Parker got on the board. Also, Bryson Kudzall got on the board as well. And Andrew Marsh ran a end around jet sweep, or jet sweeper, a mixture of the two. And he scored on the ground as well. Samaj Morgan caught 4 balls, and he scored 1 touchdown. So what's the mix going to be for next week? Jayshon Barham got 2 sacks. He was in the backfield all day. And Jair Hill got 1 sack. And Central Michigan wasn't able to get anything done all day long. Let me see. Let me take a look at the Dominic Zavada. Dominic Zavada was 0 for 1. 0 for 1 in terms of field goals. Okay. He's normally clutch. Last year, we relied on him pretty well. He delivered the death blow to Ohio State. So Michigan generated 616 yards compared to Central's 139. 235 of those were passing yards. 381 of those are rushing yards. Let's see. Michigan gained 35 first downs. They were 8 for 11 on third downs, 1 for 2 on fourth downs. Michigan ran 80 total plays. Michigan had 4 penalties for 45 yards, and Michigan held the ball for 33 minutes and 7 seconds. So that we need some semblance of this next week in Lincoln, Nebraska. The question is, can that get on the road and travel? Okay, in a way that it didn't last week. But they have to let the kid play. They have to turn the kid loose. They can't shackle him back up and expect to have a chance to win out in Lincoln. Marmar, I'm going to drop the link right now if you want to come up. I think you were at the game. I'm sure you're feeling better today than you were last week. Marmar was dropping bombs last week, man. Came up. The link is there if you want to come up. If not, I will wrap the stream up. So Michigan is now, let's see, 2-1. Big Ten play starts next week, and it's that stretch that will determine whether or not Michigan is a playoff team. All right, so the link is there for Marmar, or if anyone else watching wants to come, I'll hang on for just a little bit longer, but then I will wrap the stream up. Okay. Rod Moore was on the sidelines. He didn't play. He didn't get in the game. One other player I had my eyes on was Andrew Marsh. The kid is very talented, but they kept saying that he has to develop that trust with Chip Lindsey and the offensive staff in terms of not making mistakes out there and not making penalties. Jordan Marshall actually, his first touchdown got waved off. Jordan Marshall would have had 2 touchdowns, but Andrew Marsh was holding on that play, so the Jordan Marshall would-be first touchdown got called back. Okay, any more thoughts on today's game? Marmar, you out there? He might be in transit. He might be doing a post-game tailgate. And I don't blame him. The weather's probably beautiful up in Ann Arbor right now. It's beautiful here in the Washington, D.C. area. Any more thoughts on next week's game? We're going to do a pregame probably on Monday night. Are you all feeling confident about that game? Are you feeling scared about that game? I think, yeah, it's gonna depend upon how the coaching staff handles it and how they translate what happened today into next week. Okay. Let's take a quick look at the Nebraska score before I wrap up. I don't think Marmar's coming up. Let's take a quick look at the Nebraska score. We will revisit this on Monday. Nebraska is not ranked right now. Nebraska football. If you guys have any thoughts on today's game or any thoughts on next week's game, feel free to share there in the chat. Please consider subscribing. If you are not subscribed, please smash that like button. Let's see. So Nebraska. So again, they didn't play a top tier opponent today. They played Houston Christian, the Huskies. Okay. So this is a name that we're gonna pay a lot of attention to next week. He apparently has emerged and has turned the corner. Dylan Raiola. First of all, Nebraska won 59-7. So they won in an impressive fashion the way that we did. So Dylan Raiola went 15 for 21 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Quentin Ives, I don't know what that is, but we will know next week. He carried the ball 12 times for 85 yards. And Dane Key caught 4 balls for 104 yards and 1 reception. These are their leaders. I'm gonna skip ahead. Well, let's just take a look at the player stats. Their leading receiver was J. Ryan Wallace with 5 catches for 31 yards and no TDs. Let's take a look at the total team stats. We're gonna revisit this because on Monday we'll have the point spread and the prediction. Please smash that like button if you haven't. I'm just giving a quick recap of the Central Michigan game, and I'm taking a look at what Nebraska did. So Nebraska generated 554 total yards. 362 of those were through the air. 192 of those were on the ground for an average of 8.3 yards per play. So they pretty much steamrolled this opponent the way we steamrolled Central Michigan, or should I say our football team, because I didn't play. Let's see, they had 30 first downs. They were 5 for 9 on third down efficiency, 1 for 2 on fourth down. They ran 67 total plays. Just like Michigan, they had 4 penalties for about that same yardage, and they controlled the ball, the time of possession with 30 minutes and 17 seconds. So this is pretty much a mirror image of what Michigan did. The fun part is going to be what happens when you put the two teams together next week. Okay, so the key for us is going to be turning Bryce loose. All right, Marmar didn't come up. That's what I wanted to say. None of this outcome was not unexpected. The question was, and the question will be, what will Michigan do? What will the offensive staff show on offense next week in Lincoln, Nebraska? So let's look out for that, and look out for a pregame show. I'm pretty sure Marmar will join me for that one on Monday night, because that will be in the evening hours and not after a Michigan game. So look out for that. Good win, Wolverines, and let's hope that they can reproduce at least some of what they did this week and build upon it for next week. So everybody, this is Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Yusuf Dunbar. I'm a Michigan fan and a Michigan alum. And let's see what happens for the rest of the season. So with that, I'm going to wrap this up. So go blue. And as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you all again soon. So with that, I'm going to, I'll wrap this up. Take care. I'll talk to you next time. If you're on the replay gang, once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Go blue. Let's end with a word from Brady. We'll do one from Brady. Actually, let's end, since Michigan is kind of in this unknown phase where half the fan base is scared, and half the other fan base is like, well, let's wait and see. Let's get a word from Lloyd Carr.
And I've loved them all, and sometimes that has been tough love, but
let's do one more. They have to want that pressure. The kids have to want that pressure.
in today's world, intercollegiate athletics at a place like Michigan, the pressure on those guys is unbelievable. And they got to want that pressure.
All right. I'm going to try to hop up on Johnny Olden's open show tomorrow, so look for me there. I think I'm going to try to hop up. I'm going to try to be available for that. It's usually early afternoon. All right, everyone. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Go blue, and I will talk to you all again soon. Good win, Wolverines. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of the games. I think, Georgia and Tennessee, they're on right now, as is Penn State and Villanova. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.